A while back, YouTube on stage had revealed this graph saying what the retention rates need to be. And from that day on, my life has been an absolute hell. And the reason why is because people hold it against me to say that, hey, retention needs to hit a certain percentage because YouTube said so. I'm here to kind of go against this and give some context and also convince you that your retention percentage does not matter. If you're a YouTube creator, you've probably heard of this idea that 70% retention, that's the thing that you need to hit. It's the golden metric, and once you hit that, you're going to get everything you want. You're going to get millions and millions of views, and you're going to be the most successful creator in the world. It's the worst piece of advice I've ever heard. Creators say it, other people say it. And it all kind of got backed by this chart right here that I'll pull up on screen. But here's the issue. Metrics are only valuable when they correlate. The problem is this, retention percentage doesn't correlate. Now, what is a correlation? Let me explain this real quick. So, when we judge something's success, we want to judge it by a success metric, something we care about. In many cases, we care about views. That's the number one metric, the number one success metric, right? Views from the target audience that we want. But let's say views to keep it simple. So then we are like, okay, what metrics can we use to measure individual components of your video to help us understand how to improve the video? CTR, AVD, etc. So we want to look for that one. But you shouldn't just be like, oh, there's CTR, therefore that's the clickability, that's immediately going to connect. No, in data, what we do is we do this one thing called the correlation analysis, where we found this really cool metric, but then we ask ourselves, does this metric affect my views? If this metric goes up, do my views go up? If this metric goes down, do my views go down? Or maybe we have a negative correlation. If this metric goes up, do my views go down? Or if this metric go down, do my views go up? It's a question that we want to ask ourselves, and there's an easy way to measure that. You can go into Google Sheets. You have one data set, the other data set. So one data set is your views, the other data set is the CTR percentages, or the AVD, or the retention rate. And you type equals correl, and that way you see it. Or you make yourself a graph and you can see it. And in pretty much 99% of the cases, we find zero correlation. What a surprise. What a surprise. Else I wouldn't be making this video, of course. But basically, there's no relationship. Meaning that CTR going up has no impact on video views. CTR going down has no impact on video views. Now, some of you may be doing the analysis and be like, oh, I've got this very soft correlation. Well, the problem is your data set is about 50 to 100 videos. That's not a reliable data set. And also, when you graph it in a graph, you see like it's up, down, up, down, up, down. But there's a few outliers that push this correlation into existence. In a nutshell, if all of this doesn't make any sense, what I'm pretty much trying to say is that the relationship between CTR, AVD, APV with the views is pretty much meaningless. Meaning the data on your YouTube Studio dashboard is meaningless. Now, that's a big claim. But obviously, like, I wouldn't be saying this if I haven't run this analysis over hundreds of channels. Big channels. You know, my channel right now is not a big channel. But this has been run over channels with hundreds of millions of views every single month. In fact, actually, a lot of my clients, a lot of them score over 1 billion views per month and still no correlation. But Mario, what about early days? What about first day? And what about 7 day? What about the first 30 days? Nope, nothing. You know. The reason why this happens is because of a concept called survivorship bias. I want you to take a look at this image of a plane. This plane has a lot of holes in it. The reason why is because this was a plane that was sent in World War II to Germany to bomb the area. And when the planes came back, some analysts, they dotted where those planes got hit. I'm going to ask you one question. Where should you patch it? Where should you put extra armor so that the next time those planes go to Germany, they actually come back? The obvious answer is like, well, where the holes are. But the actual answer is where the holes aren't. Because the places where you don't see them getting shot, it's not that the Germans were so accurate that they only shot certain parts of the plane. In fact, actually, when they shot those parts of the plane, those planes went down. And that plane never came back. So the analysts never had the data of those planes that went down. So, because of this one, We call this now survivorship bias. Survivorship bias is the idea that when a piece of data goes through a selection process and then comes back to us when we're analyzing it, that has gone through a selection process and causes survivorship bias. Now, where's the selection process in YouTube? Well, that's something called the algorithm. The algorithm works like this. When you upload a piece of content, it doesn't get tested against an audience. Instead, what it does is that your piece of content goes into YouTube's database, and every single time a user logs in and YouTube is like, oh, I gotta serve this person some videos, it pulls from that database and asks itself, is this video good enough to even show to this viewer? So then it finds out, nah, you know what, this viewer is not gonna like it. So the viewer never sees that video. But there's a certain set of viewers who do like that video, so it goes to them. When you get the data back, when you see the CTRs, the AVDs, the APVs, you get all the data from those who've already been previously selected as good candidates to watch this video. But all those who may even be subscribers of yours, but YouTube was like, they're not going to enjoy your video. That data, that negative data, you never get to see it. So when you look at your studio dashboard, you only see the surviving data set. And that's the reason why the metrics are not correlated with views. So when YouTube shared that piece of data, why would they do that? Well, probably from their end, it might be accurate. I mean, when you analyze millions and millions of videos, it might be accurate. And when you're trying to optimize your stuff. But the problem is, as a creator, you're not making analysis and decisions over millions of videos. You're making decisions video to video. Unless you're uploading 1,000 videos per day. You know, maybe then my advice is wrong. I don't know. But for most of us, we don't do that. So we need a strong correlation to take confident insights from our data. And again, this is the reason why I always come back to the only things that matter are views and retention chart behavior, where it goes up and down. Hopefully this video gave you some context on why I hate this chart so much and the fight I've been fighting for like ages. And even to this day, I still got people with over 1 million subscribers coming to me saying, hey Mario, my AVD was this. And I keep on having to tell them. Like I said, this is an unfiltered channel. I tell them, shut the fuck up. That shit don't matter. Tell me that you've got more views. Then I will care. Anyways, hopefully you liked this conversation. If you did, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Send this to somebody who is telling you about their AVD and tell them to shut the fuck up. Thank you so much.